Good evening, everyone. Welcome to FPL BlackBox ahead of Gameweek 36. Where's the time gone, Andy? Gameweek 36. 3 left.
Tell me about it. It doesn't feel like that long ago that we were, getting ready for the season to start, and then all of a sudden it's Gameweek 36, and obviously with all the double game weeks and blank game weeks, and the last 4 or 5 weeks have just gone by in a blur, haven't they? But yeah, last 3 weeks and no double game weeks or blank game weeks to finish the season now, which we thought we might get a cheeky little one with Villa Spurs, but that didn't happen. So with just 3 single game weeks left, it seems like quite a sensible, straightforward route to the final, doesn't it?
And we're two sensible men, so that works.
Exactly.
That works well for both of us. I'm relieved actually the Villa Spurs didn't get a double because I am not set up for that. You would have been all right. You've got Rodgers and Martinez, haven't you?
And Conser.
And wow, okay, so you would have been fine. I've got no players in the team.
Way,
so
I would have wanted Watkins.
Yeah.
And obviously wouldn't have been able to get into him, but get him.
Whoa!
Sorry, I just saw Brian in the chat put get into FPL mode.
Kind of stream, is it? Okay.
It's only 6:30 as well.
Yeah, we got a bit earlier today. I know the last 4 streams have been either watch-alongs or we've been competing against Champions League and other things. So we thought we'd go a bit earlier today, and then we can finish bang on 8, and then you can go delicately into the Champions League. You missed the game last night, didn't you? You were talking about going to the cinema tonight. What's going on?
Yeah, no, I missed the game last night because I was streaming, and I had some hecklers in the chat saying,
"Did you?
These guys don't like football. These guys don't like football. They're not watching the football." And I was like, "I know, I'd love to be watching the football, but I'm doing things for our lovely
commitments,
punters." Yeah, exactly.
Punters.
But tonight,
okay.
I fancy getting out, going to the cinema. I thought it'd be quite nice.
What are you going to see?
I'm not as fussed about Arsenal. That Thunderbolts.
Oh, the Marvel one.
Yeah.
Marvel?
Yeah.
So it's Marvel, is it? Not DC.
It is Marvel.
It is Marvel, yeah. It's like the Avengers aren't available or something like that, isn't it? I saw it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we got some stuff to talk about today. How do you feel about this end to the season? Because it feels like we're sort of just, I don't know. Well, I feel like I'm just slowly rowing my way to the finish line, whereas the unthinkable's happened, and you've gone down some rapids, and you've actually bloody overtaken me.
Mate, I'm loving the end. All this positive variance that I didn't have at the beginning of the season has come to me now. I think I looked, last time we streamed together, I was 545k, and I'm now above you. So,
I know. How many points actually is it? Well, we'll see. We'll come to the great and the good in a minute. We'll
it's
see.
1 point between us.
Hi to everyone in the chat. Hi to Malachi Fox, who says this bloody painful season over yet. That's how I felt for the last ones. Mike MPL is about 4 weeks behind. He says, is Mark going to be in future streams? No, he's not. Check out the episode with Bradley at the end. If you're not sure where Mark is, he explains all in that. He will not be on future streams, and he's dead to us on here. So yeah, don't accept. I mean, he gave me a full rundown of how to do the tables the other day. So literally, we don't need him anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Lovely.
Until pre-season, when we have to update them, and then I don't
think anybody would be that bothered about that.
No,
so it's all good.
That's absolutely fine. No, seamless transition. It's all been good. Delia says, definitely into watching Champions League. I wish I could be that calm. Yeah, Arsenal fans probably not feeling it. Do you know what your predictions are? How you feeling, Delia? You feeling optimistic about this? Hi to Daniel, who says, evening lads, evening chat. N says not past the watershed yet, Andy. Yeah, typical making those kind of moves.
Sorry.
And Matthew says, opinion on Eze captain next week. Captaincy is a good... I think last week was... Well, we'll see in a minute. I was all over the place with everything last week, and it ended up being absolutely terrible. This week is a very exciting one, I think, for the captaincy particularly. So we'll be talking about that as we go. Let's take a look at our game weeks. I guess we should start with you, considering you had an absolute banger of a week. Talk us through it.
Yeah, 63 points. Honestly, it's one of those things again where to end my season, everything just seems to be going a little bit right now, whereas at the beginning it wasn't going right. So I, with about 5 minutes left, swapped Raya out and put Emi Martinez in, which was an 8-point swing, which I was not expecting. I was very, very close to bringing Conser in for Saliba as well. So I was going to the Arsenal game, and the only reason I kept Saliba in there was because if I had double Arsenal defence on my bench and I'm watching them play, and they obviously get clean sheet while I'm watching, I was a bit like, I don't think I fancy that. But
you just said it
I just
normally.
looked at it and...
You just said it normally.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I've been sat up at night. I've been doing personal ECT, so I've been trying to teach myself.
That was weird.
Every time I say it wrong, I shock myself. It's quite nice. So I've been starting to look like the mum off Requiem for a Dream because of that.
Yeah,
so
very
I
good.
got. So I did that 8 points swing, which was quite nice. Gavardio and Ruben Diaz. I went with double City defence on wildcard, and that's done me quite well actually. Saliba with 1, Salah with 2, Eza. I'm quite happy with that one. I brought in Eza instead of Munoz on wildcard, and obviously at the beginning it didn't look like a good move. Whereas with Eza now on pens as well, it's actually worked out quite well.
Oh, his pens though strike fear into any owner. I think when he runs up with that.
It's not fun to watch. And then I had Mbeumo captain. He could have got more in that game. They did what I thought they were going to do and demolish United from an offensive standpoint, and he only got me 10 points as captain. I feel like that could have been more. Mateta with 2, Marmoush with 2, and then Isak got 9 with the penalty against Brighton. Obviously, I did have Konsa and Wan-Bissaka on the bench with 7, but 63 points and up to 181k. Yeah, I've got to take that really. So I'm very, very happy with that. I'm feeling okay moving forward. Like you said, a Villa double game week would have actually been quite nice this week for me, but it would have hurt me a little bit the week after. So I'm not too bothered by that, and I've got no chips left. So I think it more favours those people that had chips left if we would have had a double game week. So we don't, and I'll take it. And yeah, I'm at my highest rank of the season going into game week 36.
I love it. You've created an actual rivalry because Mark's pulled away anyway, so it would have been awful this end of the season. But you've come in at a good time and you've created just a couple of points difference. Oh,
Beautiful.
Who's going to win?
23 points between us this week, so I had to go big against you.
Yeah, it's not been good. Jim says clean sheet right, but buggers up Requiem. I did think that. I did think you'd pronounce that wrong. Aren't you an English teacher?
Yeah. I don't do a lot of that Requiem. I don't do a lot of that in year 3, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a bold choice to name drop that film when you can't even pronounce the title. Yeah. So yeah, fair play. I had a shocking week. It was a good week to have a bad week, as that saying goes. But yeah, it was just another week where I had all these different ideas and plans and things I wanted to do, and in the end, I picked literally the worst possible option, which seems to be happening to me more and more this season. Raya in goal, Vardiol, Saliba, and Milenkovic. Vardiol with the 8, but Milenkovic disappointing. Forest again not looking great defensively. Saliba and Raya, double clean sheet wipeout. That was painful. Looked good for about 60 minutes, and then of course Bournemouth strike, and then they strike again. Salah with 2, and Mbeumo captain with the 10, same as you, and Murphy going off at 55 minutes. Disappointing. Saka, I'm really pissed off with. Right, let me just have a little moan about Saka. Luke and I do BlackBox last week. We were asked questions about what we think about Saka. We are the only ones who say we think he's going to start. Everyone else is selling him left, right, and centre for Mbeumo. Luke and I are like, no, he's going to play more minutes than people think. We see the lineups. We get it right. We're messaging each other. We're like, we are geniuses. Look, everyone is going to be flocking to BlackBox next week to praise us for our foresight. Blanks. 2 points.
Yeah. He was non-existent most of the game as well. God. He had one shot that fizzed past the post, but he was non-existent really.
He's not in it.
I genuinely think Arteta got it so wrong in that game.
He did. I completely
don't know why he started as strong as he did, because as soon as they went down, he had nothing to do. He couldn't take his best players off, and Rice going off was big as well. But he just got it completely wrong, I think. And obviously, if they lose to PSG or don't do anything against PSG, he's got this so wrong. They could easily finish third now, couldn't they? He
gave himself like question marks when he didn't need to. Because if he'd played a weakened team and lost 2-1 or drawn or something like that, people would have just said, "Oh, it was a weakened team. They're probably in the thing." But he gave himself. I know it was a difficult game and he had to play a strong squad. Obviously, he doesn't want to finish third, fourth, or he wouldn't have played that team. So I thought it was a really, really weird selection. You can make. You don't have to rest the whole 11, do you? You can make certain players. But I really did think Saka would start, but I thought there'd be other changes around the team. And yeah, in the end, they lost. It was the worst possible result for them. So
yeah,
even more pressure on him tonight. Isak, Marmoush, and Wood. Just Isak with a goal. So my moves. I was debating loads of stuff. I was debating the seconds of Mbeumo move. I was debating Wissa, just going for Wissa, not even going from Mbeumo. In the end, I got sucked up in the Brian hype and was like, right, I've got to prioritise getting him. The only way I could get him if I was keeping Saka, because I thought he'd start, was to sell Eze.
Oh,
so
no.
Eze leaves. the team. Mbeumo coming in. Couldn't afford that in a straight swap, so had to downgrade Mateta, which was fine. Umming and ahhing all week. Kuna, Wissa or Wood. In the end, went for Chris Wood, who Elanga should have scored, I think, from the assist he laid off for him, and he had a good chance himself. So, and then Eze scores a penalty, which obviously Mbeumo could have got. Just one of those weeks. Really, really frustrating week. Haven't had one like that in a while.
Yeah. It's how it happens, unfortunately. Like I said, it just the way when it's going wrong, it's going wrong, and it doesn't feel like there's anything you can do to make it stop. And when it's going right, you just sat there thinking, I don't know why it's going right, but it is.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's quite nice.
That little thing called variance. I'm about to open a drink. I'll give you 3 guesses as to what it is. I bet you don't get it.
Oh, is it a can or a bottle?
I feel like that would be too much of a giveaway, so I'm not going to answer that.
Really? I'm going to say it is, because you said before we streamed it's very extra. So I'm going to say that it's a little can of like we know those like little girly cans you get where it's like a cocktail. Yeah. Like that.
You're on the right lines. I want to guess which one.
I'm going to go with a mojito.
No. Close. Very close. I'll give you another one.
Espresso martini.
No, we've gone the other way now. No.
Peach. I don't know. Go on, tell me what it is.
It's a pina colada in a can.
Oh, I was so close.
Yeah, mojito in a can was a good choice. This is the content people want. 230 people before.
Exactly.
Oh, it's lovely. M&S pina colada. Check me out. Great and the good. What does that mean? Well, here we can look at the points. There is 1 point. 1 point between us. Look at that.
Lovely.
Absolutely wild. It's a good week for the great and the good. Really, lots of rank changes. Those who did get a negative red arrow, not too high, except for mine, lowest score, obviously, in the great and the good. Nearly 40k rank drop for me. The next lowest was 7,800. You had the big. Oh no, Jan and Seb had big rises. 160k, 122. Yours though, 60k. That is a good. Yeah, it's a good score. Look at the captains as well. We're reaching that start of the season where people are going for different players, like Krellin going for Mbeumo, Praz going for Marmouche. We had some Salahs in there, a couple of De Bruyne's as well. I'm guessing from the team news that he was starting. A few people bought him in and captained him too. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing the De Bruyne ones, because the De Bruyne ones actually didn't have the best scores in terms of De Bruyne getting them 22 points. Yet the late riser, for instance, just got 52. So obviously the rest of his team kind of struggled a little bit there by the looks of it. But I do feel for those Marmouche captains. Obviously, we're going to talk about captaincy later. They only scored 1 goal, obviously, but I do feel Marmouche, their game week was kind of over after Friday night. Not over, but you know what I mean, where it must have felt a bit bad watching Marmouche play, and obviously De Bruyne in their defence getting returns and Marmouche doing nothing.
And I'd say that double defence owners could have been even more annoyed, because Aït-Nouri had a couple of really good chances. Kuna had one that whistled past the post. They rode their luck at times in that game, City. But yeah, in the end, if you had double City defence and KDB, or you bought in KDB and captained him, you were laughing. But I imagine there was quite a few people out there who weren't too happy. Oh, Mark's in the chat. Hello, Mark.
Yeah, I've just highlighted him.
Not even highlighted. No, like I said, Mark, I'm sorry. They're dead to us. Dead to us now.
He's lucky he's on the table.
Yeah. Will he be next year? We'll go ahead and put him on again next year if he's not doing content.
Well, no, because everybody will then see him being top every week.
Yeah, that's true.
Straight away. He's going to win FPL next year, isn't he? So.
He's going to get so many dodgy assists. It's ridiculous. He did have a good week. I do have to say, 70 points to Mark after his hit. So, yeah, there wasn't many of us that took hits this week, just 3 of us. Me, Mark, and Jan. And yeah, mine was awful and theirs was good. So less said about the better. You wanted to call attention to this one. This is again from Greyhead, following him at Greyhead 19. This is the great and the good since game week 30. Look at that. Look at your top. 75% rank change in just 5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens. This is what I do. No,
this is what I do. You've literally never done this before.
No. This is. Do you know what I was talking about this with somebody the other day, saying that obviously, like, there are managers out there that, I mean, Ben Krellin's just ridiculous, isn't he? Like, his level of consistency in terms of he's been top 10k for God knows how long. But it's quite nice sometimes to know that you can be quite low down and obviously go up. And you and Mark used to do that quite a bit, didn't you? You used to do like late charges and have a bit of a contest with that. So no, I like I said, I'm really happy. The thing is, obviously, game week 36, 37, 38, I've got to try and keep that going because I can easily finish outside 250k still. But I think I'm 24 points away from top 100k. So surely that's got to be our goal, Az.
It's interesting because obviously you're coming into this on a real high, right? And actually everyone in the great and the good bar Geraint is up. Like the average percentage must be around 50-60%, something like that. It's a good percentage. But I've had a bad week, then a good free hit, and then a bad week again, and I'm feeling a lot less optimistic than you. Whereas because you've been consistently rising up, you're like, yeah, let's smash it, get into the top 100k. So I like your enthusiasm. I'm feeling less positive.
Got to. Yeah, seven greens in a row. See if I can make it 10 by the end of the season and try and get top 100k. But it's weird because last year I think I finished like 54k, but I was 30k going into the last week. Whereas this year, if I finish 100k, I'm going to feel better this year than I did last year with a better rank. But it's just all relative, isn't it, I guess? But if I can get close to 100k this year, I'm going to be delighted, to be fair.
I feel like I really need a 100k, finish. I mean, what was my last few seasons been? Not great. 400k last year. I mean, let's not talk about that. 140k before that. Then I had a good year. That was the 4k year. That was good. And then 135k. So I've had 3 out of my last 4 seasons outside the top 100k. And I'd only had one of those in about 9 seasons, like before that. So I'm in need, Andy. I'm in need of a good finish.
You're in need.
I am.
I back us, mate. I back us. We'll be fine.
That's very kind. The ticker's a bit pathetic. Like I said, we've only got 3 fixtures left. Ipswich are top of the ticker over the next 3. Is anyone out there going to be bringing in Delap? Probably not. Forest second. So that's one of the reasons why I went for Chris Wood. There was some method to the madness. Man City third and like the arguably most informed team in the league at the moment. Brentford with Mbeumo 2. Down the other end, you've got Southampton. I think they'll be glad they're already relegated because if they're going into Man City and Arsenal, 2 out of the last 3 games, you'd probably be a little bit worried anyway. Liverpool right down there as well. Palace 2, although Spurs probably won't hold too much fear for them. Brighton and Chelsea and Newcastle. So it's a bit of a mixed bag for teams over the next 3. Is there any teams here that you're targeting? You've got 2 free transfers as well, haven't you? You're in quite a good position.
No, I've only got 1.
Oh, you've got one.
I've got quite a bit in the bank. I've got 2.2 in the bank, so I can move up to a few players if I want to. I found it interesting at the moment in that a lot of the players that we're invested in and heavily invested in, like doubles and triple ups, are all in the lower half of the table, like the lower third. So Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, all there, and Newcastle, all in the lower thirds there. But I do feel like this is the kind of time of the year where sometimes the fixture tickers can be a little bit of a lie, if that makes sense. Because, don't get me wrong, Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich, they got, Forest, Man City and Brentford against them. You could be looking at 3-4-0 in each of those games. And I mean, you're looking at the fixtures there with Southampton, they're not getting past 11 points, are they? They're going to be drawing with Derby for the worst season ever. But you look at someone like, say, Crystal Palace, who are third bottom there, but they've got Spurs up next. Spurs are obviously going to Bodo Glimt now, and they obviously still want a bit of a result, but they're not going to be playing much in the next round, I wouldn't have thought. And I look at a few of those fixtures and think, is that harder than you think? Like Liverpool playing against Arsenal, God knows what's going to happen there, because Liverpool are done now with the season. Arsenal are obviously just thinking about PSG. So I do feel like it's an interesting one with how this season's going to finish, if that makes sense. But, as we've said, these 3 teams that have come up are just terrible, and every single week it's target those weak teams.
Yeah.
And obviously Forest, City and Brentford seem to be the ones there. The interesting one, like I said, it will be captaincy this week. I mean, I've looked at some of Rob T's projections, and Man City, I think, now it's been updated, are projected 3 goals this week, which is maybe the 2nd or 3rd highest this year in terms of projected goals. So Southampton away, I mean, that seems to be the fixture to target mainly, but also Brentford just destroy the promoted teams, don't they? They seem to score so many points against those promoted teams, and Mbeumo in particular. So I do like captaincy from now until the end of the season, because I feel like it's going to be swapping around a lot, and you can bring players in to try and captain them and that. So like people that don't have Wood could bring him in this week and captain him. People that don't have Wissa can bring him in and double up with Mbeumo. Like I feel like there are real opportunities for the last 3 weeks.
I think this week is a defining week in a lot of our seasons.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, that's easy to say, isn't it? When there's 3 weeks left, it's not the most not the most, pretty much the most obvious thing ever. But I think there's big swings here. I think you can go. There's 4 good captaincies. I think you've got KDB, Marmoush, Wood, Mbeumo, potentially even Wissa as well. Yeah. So that is going to be shared around. A lot of people are just going to leave it on Salah. And actually, if you look at the video that Luke and I did last week, where we looked at the analysis of teams with nothing to play for on the beach teams, the Liverpool-Arsenal game, like if you look at those stats, like screams to me goals, because Liverpool are going to go for it. It looks like defences aren't as sound. The only thing is Arsenal don't seem to be able to score many goals at the moment, so that might put a little bit of the brakes on that. But I just think that if you can get that captaincy right, if we can get that captaincy right this week, maybe all 4 of those players I mentioned all smash it, and it doesn't really matter too much. But if 2 of those blank and you've managed to catch one of the 2 that does really well, this is the final push that we need. So yeah, it's a big week. I mean, we're talking about obviously these players going forward, but I mean, De Bruyne, he's the poster boy for the episode today.
Yeah.
I can get him fairly easy. I can do Saka to De Bruyne this week. Obviously, there's the cup final coming, but I think it might be a bit too tempting.
I don't know whether your sound just dropped, by the way. Was it still all right?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. There you go. I think if you can get to De Bruyne, it makes sense. I feel like his minutes should be fine. Obviously, Pep can be a bit tricky. I don't know whether Luke's posted anything recently about what he expects in that game. I think if you can get to De Bruyne, it's fine. There's an argument to be said that he could still be on penalties as well. We still don't really know whether it's going to be him or Marmoush, but true. There's a lot of people that think it could be KDB. It could be interesting with the fact that Haaland could be back. Obviously, does Haaland go straight in? Does he play 30 minutes? Does that affect Marmoush or KDB? I think if you can get to KDB, I can. I've already got triple City, so I've got double defence and I've got Marmoush, and I'm not interested in moving any of those out because I quite fancy City to keep clean sheets. 2 out of those 3, maybe even 3, you never know. So I'm quite happy keeping those. But if you can get to KDB, I think it makes sense, personally.
There's a few things to consider there, isn't there? Because Haaland back, how does that change De Bruyne's role? He has been playing very high up the pitch. Haaland's going to come back, potentially push De Bruyne back a bit. Does it make him more of a rotation risk? Is there rotation with him with the Champions with the semi-final, with the final? He hasn't been playing a lot of the cup games, so he didn't play the semi-final. But you'd think he would come in for the final game too. And yeah, like you say, I think it tempts me more to bring him in now that I know you can't get him because he gives me quite a good differential. To be fair.
It is going to be interesting to see how they manage Haaland. I mean, the impression I'm getting, because he played 0 minutes, didn't he, last weekend? And I'm looking at it thinking, I mean, Southampton away, they're going to ruin Southampton, you would have thought. So do you bring him on and give him a bit of a run and a bit of confidence if he gets a goal in the last 20 minutes? Or do you just keep him on the bench, keep him fresh, and then play him in the, manage to bring him on for 30 minutes in the final? I mean, imagine Palace 1-0 up or something and they bring Haaland on. It's exactly what you want, isn't it? So, I don't know. I'm feeling like, because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to get Haaland. I think this is a week too early to get him. But it could affect... Because what would Marmoush do? Move to the left, move back behind a bit? Would it affect KDB a bit? And actually, City didn't look as good with Haaland. Like this season, they haven't.
Here's a question for you. You've got 2 free transfers. I know you haven't, but in this scenario, 2 free transfers. Haaland, we get team news he's starting against Southampton.
Yeah.
Do you take out Salah to get him in?
If you had 2 free transfers, what? So like getting rid of Salah and Mateta, for instance?
Yeah.
If he's starting against Southampton,
exactly,
I think it's worth it. Because I think you'd probably captain him as well. What do you expect to know? Probably 60 minutes, 70 minutes? If he starts, he's
getting 60, yeah.
I mean, I know Luke always used to say if he starts, he's playing the minutes, isn't he? But obviously he's had a bit of an injury. So, yeah, I think it's not going to happen, I don't think. I don't think he's starting anyway. But obviously we are going to be most likely, it's the first kickoff, isn't it? So might get a leak. But, yeah.
Well, I think we probably will. I think we probably will get news if he plays or not. And I think if he starts... There's 3 weeks left. A lot of us aren't where we want to be in the table. I think you and I may be less desperate than someone who's maybe around 300k and chasing mini leagues and things like that. I think it's a perfect opportunity just to go for it, right? And just say, okay, I'm going to get 60 minutes out of Haaland against the worst team we've probably ever seen in the Premier League. Surely you just take the gamble. I mean, to give a bit of a spoiler, we've both gone for a 4-0 City.
Yeah, we have. This. Yeah. Which it kind of makes sense, really. I mean, like I said, the projections are 3, and the projections are always a little bit lower than could actually happen, obviously. And yeah, I think there's going to be goals in that game. Although I say that City do seem to be grinding a little bit at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, Wolves played well against them. They hit the post a couple of times, and you do look at it and think, Southampton have scored a few goals recently, but City are going to win. So I do think KDB captain is good. The one thing I'll ask you, though, because obviously a lot of people are going for it and a lot of people were burned last week by it, is obviously Marmoush. Do you think he's captainable? Do you think he's somebody that we can captain? Because he's coming across quite an unreliable captain as the season's gone on. Obviously, he had that one game where he got the hat-trick, didn't he? But apart from that, he's been a little bit tough to captain. If you had both him and KDB, is it dead certain you'd be going KDB, or is Marmoush in your thoughts as well?
Well, he hasn't scored a goal, has he, away from home for City, which is a concern. I mean, the caveat is that he's playing Southampton. Like, anyone is captainable against Southampton, respectfully. Well, not respectfully at all. The opposite of respectfully to Southampton fans. It doesn't really matter. You can throw past form out of the window when a team is that bad. I think the issue with him this week is that there are so many other good captaincy options this week. Reliable captaincy options. Like, we know what Mbeumo is capable of against Ipswich. We know what Chris Wood is capable of at home to Leicester. You know, Salah's been doing it all season. I just don't think Marmoush is in that bracket yet. And De Bruyne has just been relentless. Like, every time he's played, he's looked so good. And he's, you know, all the concerns around his minutes and rotation and stuff. I do think there are some more questions if Haaland's back, but really, if you get news that he's starting, if you're comparing Marmoush and KDB, I think KDB's clear.
1 shot, 1 goal last week, though.
Yeah.
From KDB. You know, I do think it's close between him and, say, Mbeumo, like this week. And with how Mbeumo's played against promoted teams this year, he had a blank against Leicester, but every other promoted team, whenever he's played him, he scored over 12 points.
Wow. Yep.
So I do think it's possible for Mbeumo to be the pick this week. It's who I'm on at the moment, and I'm actually quite happy not doing Marmoush this week. But KDB would be tempting. I do get the KDB one. Obviously, we mentioned there Leicester. Nottingham Forest have Leicester at home. Is Wood up there? Like, he's struggled recently, hasn't he? Obviously, he came back from injury. Forest have been struggling as well. Is Wood up there for you, or
two comments in succession about Wood looking limp from James C. Wood looks a bit limp, and Al Wood has gone limp. Literally posted exactly the same time. So people should obviously sharing your thoughts. I mean, I brought him in last week. I probably wasn't expecting a huge amount against Palace. I did think Palace would. I know there was all the talk from Glasner that he was going to play a full strength team, but I thought maybe he was lying a bit. I mean, Eze played like 60 minutes the last few games. I said they made quite a few changes against Arsenal, didn't they? Then bought players on. I thought they would put out a slightly weaker team than they did. They didn't. It was really strong. I got him for these 2 weeks though. I thought Forest were all right actually. I thought but once they weathered the 20 minutes, I thought they played quite well, particularly towards the end of the first half. And they had chances. Wood had chances. Wood, you can't judge. Wood does go limp, right? That is fact. You know, you watch him and he's limp as anything.
He's fine, lads. Yeah.
It happens. He's getting on a bit.
To the best of us.
And it doesn't matter because he doesn't need one ball over the top and he's there. Like he's still switched on and he still could have come away with that with a golden assist. And when we look at the forwards and we see that he's bottom of XG non-penalty, it doesn't matter about Forest. Throw all the stats out the window. Forest's attacking play, Wood's stats, doesn't matter. He just needs that one chance. Leicester and West Ham, you've got to think someone who's got, 18, 19 goals this season can get a couple more against those two.
You'd think so. I mean, one of the ways that I sometimes judge who I'm going to bring in is if I were to bring in Wood or Wissa, for instance, if they blanked this week, so if I brought them in and if they blanked, who would I still look at and go, well, I'm glad I've still got them, if that makes sense. And obviously, Nottingham Forest have West Ham away and then Chelsea, which isn't that bad, and Brentford have Fulham at home and then Wolves. I'm looking at that and thinking, I think I prefer to own Wissa for the last 2 weeks. with what I feel like Brentford can do against those other two teams, I don't think it's too far away. I just feel like I prefer to own Wissa for the last 2 weeks rather than Wood.
See, that's interesting because I feel the opposite, which is why I went for Wood. Yeah, which is interesting. Yeah, that's part of the charm of this game, isn't it? Part of the charm.
That is interesting. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I see. I look at it. I just think Brentford are going to score more goals in those two games than Forest will.
Yeah. Well, again, if you look back at the video that Luke and I did last week, it does seem that when teams are, before they're on the beach, the attacking, sort of the defensive data remains like quite consistent. So, I mean, let's look at some data. I mean, the defensive data and the attacking data doesn't look great for Forest. I mean, team data defense over the last 6 matches, we associate Forest with being this really strong defensive unit. Selves has got the most clean sheets all this season. Look at that over the last 6. They are third from bottom of all players. They're conceding nearly 2 goals, like 2 expected goals on average a game, which is on par with Ipswich and Leicester, who we all agree are dreadful. Southampton have actually improved pretty much since the new managers come in. So, I mean, that is a concern for like me with Milenkovic and the Aina owners and Sells, like for example. But if they're going to get Champions League, they've got to get some clean sheets right over the next couple of games.
Yeah, you think so? I mean, I haven't seen an update about Murillo. I'm assuming he's fine, is he? Because obviously he went off against Crystal Palace.
Who was it? I think was it Shearer or Redknapp or someone saying afterwards they were like, he's absolutely fine. Like he's walking around on the pitch, he's smiling, he's joking, he's fine. So if we trust those pundits,
so he's out then.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, you think so, but then you look at this. They're down there with Ipswich and Leicester. Like it's almost kind of, I don't know how much you can trust them. People have got Sells, they've got Milinkovic, they've got Olena or Neco Williams. And actually, are you going to be feeling that good about starting them in the next 3 weeks? I think this week you still can't you? Leicester can't score for Toffee anyway. And, they're playing at home as well. But yeah, just looking at that and thinking, but I mean, I'm saying this, Arsenal are top. And Arsenal don't seem to be able to keep a clean sheet at the moment either. So, yeah,
You've definitely changed the way you say clean sheet.
Have I?
Yeah, that shock therapy.
I'm glad it's working.
Really, really paid off.
It's not it's the shock therapy and also the constant bullying that helps. That really helps. I'm glad I've joined.
That's the lesson for the kids. That's the lesson for the kids. Yeah, nice bit of bullying every now and then.
Exactly.
Sort you out. Yeah.
Lovely. So yeah, no, it'll be interesting with Forest to see how they do in the last 3 weeks. I just don't fancy them as much. I don't think. I think they'll do well this week, but I think after that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many other surprises on this table. I mean, Arsenal being top, I think maybe is a bit surprising, seeing as the clean sheets have been hard to come by. But Chelsea have looked good. Man City have climbed up, like you said, they've been good value. Yeah. Newcastle, we know they're going to be high. Villa, I mean, they went for a real run, didn't they, of barely keeping teams out, and now they've had more clean sheets in the last 6 weeks or something than they've had all season. Something ridiculous like that. Obviously, lack of Europe helps. It looks like it's stabilised them a little bit, but the rest of the table is as you expect. Maybe Man United being 8th over the last 6 is surprising because we expect them to be worse, but yeah, rest is as we'd expect.
Yeah.
Attack then. Look at this. Forest is 16th on the attacking data as well, so it's been poor results for them. The data as well suggests that that's completely fair. They're struggling to keep teams out. They're struggling to score goals as well. Actually, I mean, 0.76. So actually expected to score less than a goal every match. If we look at it over the season, they're 16th over the season as well. So they're consistent in that regard. But the actual XG, non-penalty per 90, is 1.14. So it's higher for the season. So they have regressed, even though they're still in around about the same position. They're still right down there. But Chris Wood, right? Don't need chances.
But but surely this is Chris Wood regressing, isn't it? It's him regressing to actually what he should be doing.
Mark's
I know this is Mark's put in the chat. I don't think this is the real Andy. No way he gets 7 greens and then says clean sheet properly.
I've had 7 straight greens.
Yeah,
bloody hell.
Yeah. So, but I mean, but this is my worry, is that Wood is actually. This is what he should have been doing all season. He's been overperforming it like crazy. And it's not like we've watched Jamie Vardy do stuff like that in the past. And I always think, he's got the pace and he's got all that kind of, and you think, well, he could kind of keep doing that. Whereas Wood, I'm looking at those last 3. If I didn't have Wood now and I had to pick between Wood and Wissa, I mean, that is what I've got to choose. And even Cunha, you look at the attacking data there, Wolves are so much higher than Nottingham Forest, like double the amount of chances they create every game. And we're at Brentford. Oh, Brentford are actually only 11th, which is interesting. But I still think, I do just wonder whether Wood is not a trap, because I feel like he'll probably score this weekend anyway.
20 goal a season, Wood, a trap? God.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I just feel like someone like a Wissa or a Cunha or something like that is maybe a better bet for the last 3 weeks. But Wood will obviously do well probably this week.
I think it's a very good question, and I've ignored the stats for a lot of the season when it comes to, but particularly Wood, and it's been a major downfall, because every week I've done this pod, every week I've seen Wood down the bottom, and I thought there's no way he keeps up with this 36% accuracy. It's conversion. It's the highest we've ever seen from a player in the Premier League. Like, no way does he carry it on, but he has done. And then when you know, it hasn't taken me this long to realise, but when you watch Forest and you realise they're not a team that creates loads of chances, they're not the same as Brentford. They don't go gung ho like for it. They sit back, they hit on the counter, they create good opportunities. And actually, if you look at that big chance per 90, it's awful. So
exactly.
At the moment, they're not creating those big chances, which is why they're struggling so much. I mean, 0.17 big chance per 90. Like the next lowest is Leicester, 0.83. You know, so it's almost like we can't judge them over the last few weeks as we can do over the season, which does make me think you might be right with Wood, but it's Chris Wood. So
I mean, I'm looking at it now, and I'm looking at game week 38. Are you going to kick? So he's got Chelsea at home. Someone like Evan Nielsen, he's got Leicester at home, game week 38. Yeah. So if you've got Wood, if you've already got Chris Wood,
yes,
do you move him in game week 38 to Evan
Nielsen?
That's
the plan.
Nothing else to do.
That's the plan. Yeah, I want.
So you're only getting him in for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I want.
Well, obviously you've already got him.
I got him. I look at the defensive stats. Palace weren't great. Like I said, I do think he could have got something from that game. I wanted him for the next two. I think they're two good games for them. And then it gives me a bit of a free hit really with that striker spot on the third week. I mean, Evan Nielsen's got to be the perfect player, right, for that game. Let's just go back to the ticker in 38. So you've got Bournemouth of Leicester at home. That's got to be the best fixture. I mean, you've got someone like Cunha with Brentford potentially. It's a shame you don't have someone from West Ham. Obviously, Bowen is the one, but he's a mid. Fulkrug potentially, but no. But yeah, I think Wood to Evan Nielsen in 38 is almost certainly what I'm going to do. Delia says these jokes never get old.
Thank you. Unlike us.
Okay, so that's the stats. Let's take a look. Should we skip keeper? No one's buying a keeper, are they, in the next 3 weeks?
Oh, I'd hope not.
Well, let's do it quickly. Who'd you pick if you're picking a keeper? Say you were wild carding, you somehow still got that chip for the next 3 weeks. What goalkeeper are you picking for the next 3?
I mean, after everything we said, Sells obviously sticks out a little bit because of fixtures, but their defensive data just isn't good. I mean, you could maybe go for a bit of a double up. You got Pickford, who's obviously got Southampton in game week 37, which isn't too bad.
Yep.
So if you linked him with Sells, you get Leicester and Southampton. That's pretty good. I mean, is Edison going to play all 3 to finish the season? You don't really want Edison. If you're making a transfer to get Edison in, that's a kind of a waste of a City move, I would say. So yeah, you'd probably end up going with Kepa or Flecken. I think Flecken's not bad actually, because you're not really going to want players outside of Mbeumo and Wissa. So Flecken's not too bad. He's third on this table as well. I don't think you go with Pope because fixtures have obviously changed a bit there, and I'm not expecting too many clean sheets against Chelsea and Arsenal. So yeah, I think probably Flecken's up there for me. I think I'd triple up with Flecken and get Wissa and Mbeumo and Flecken.
Yeah, I
think not Sells or Pickford.
I think Flecken's probably the one. I mean, who's making the most saves out of these players? He's up there. Sells is up there. Given that they are conceding more chances, you do wonder if Sells making a few saves, and if they do get a clean sheet, then he's probably one that's going to get the bonus as well. He's been doing that so effectively all season.
Yeah.
I'd say Sells or Flecken. I think it's probably the one you go for.
Quite a few people in the chat saying Jose Sarr.
Jose Sarr,
I don't mind Sarr. Obviously, he's got Brighton, Crystal Palace, and Brentford. I'd expect all of those to score, probably. Brighton and Brentford in particular, you'd be expecting them to score. So I'm not sure, unless he saves another pen.
I think the thing is, at this stage of the season, you're probably expecting all teams to score in every game. Like it's a difficult. I mean, look at there's so few clean sheets this week, wasn't there? You know, it really was like one from the attackers. So I think you go. You just pick one with good fixtures who makes loads of saves. I think that's Sells or Flecken. I think I'd rather have those over Sar. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Defence. This is defenders over the last 6. I've marked a couple on here. 8 Nori at 5-1. He's obviously increased quite a bit in price. Now he's done all right. He's got a goal and 2 assists over the last 6. I can't believe he came away from that Man City game without an attacking return. Yeah. He's ridiculous. The positions he's finding himself in are just unbelievable.
Between him and Munoz, who both should have had a goal or 2 at the weekend. I was quite surprised. I mean, 8 Nori, he's up there now. Like he always reminds me of Van Aanholt. Do you remember him at Palace?
Oh,
when it was
do
like,
I?
Yeah,
do I?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you just get those wing backs that are cheap wing backs kind of throughout the seasons, and I feel like we're running out of time with 8 Nori now. I feel like he's going to be sold at some. I don't feel like Wolves are going to keep hold of him, if that makes sense. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with him next year. But he's killed it recently, obviously, and it's been Wolves have been on a bit of a resurgence, which has been nice. But it's tough with defenders at the moment. There's not a lot of clamour for defenders, is there? I think a lot of people are set with their defence, and with no more blanks or doubles coming up, I think you kind of use everything up on your midfielders and strikers at the moment now, don't you?
I mean, my best season, when I finished 800th, not to keep going on about it, but that did happen a long time ago.
Last year?
Yeah, right. Was when I started the season with 4 wing backs. It was when wing backs were really in vogue, you know, and I had Van Aanholt, I had Seed Kolasinac, remember him?
Oh, yes.
I had Ben Davis when he was actually playing at wing back,
Good.
still around amazingly, and I had, of course, Marcus Alonso, the original, the OG of the wing backs, and it was a lot of fun. And we've talked about defenders a lot over probably the last couple of years. We have never reached those heights of excitement with defenders anymore.
Well, I tweeted about it the other day, saying with Trent gone, who's going to be the next 7 million defender? Because a lot of people are saying Gvardiol, but I don't think people realise just what Trent has done for so long. Like and the assists and goal threat. I don't think you're going to have another defender like him be priced at 7 million and do what he's done for a very long time.
I think if Gvardiol had seen out the season playing at left wing back, you know, he might be in the conversation. You know, he started off the season so strongly. I mean, if he got 5 or 6 goals, for example, and a couple of assists, you'd be thinking, okay. But I mean, the levels of consistency that Trent and Robertson both had in those first couple of years, when they were getting 10, 15 assists and adding goals in as well, it's going to be really tough for a player to do that. I mean, don't forget, we've had 7 million defenders in the past. So we've had John Terry, Leighton Baines, players like that. So it might be that all the defenders just move up a little bit to compensate.
Here's your question then, by the way. Is Trent, and I know this is going off it a little bit, but you can't talk about it for too long if you don't want to. Is Trent the greatest defensive asset in FPL history ever?
We can talk about this all night, Andy. This is what we're here for. These kind of these big questions. Yes.
That sounded so confident.
Well, I think he is for the consistency. I still think Alonso is my favourite defender of all time, because he was so ridiculous when he was on free kicks. He was like in the penalty area. Like Trent does all of his work, doesn't he, from deep, and he makes some great assists and things like that. But Alonso was so involved. I don't actually know what Alonso's final numbers were in his best season. Like, I doubt he got close to the 20 attacking returns that Trent had. But he was probably the most fun. But yeah, for the years in which he's done it, and the revolutionising he did of that spot for Liverpool, I think he has to go down as the greatest, right? I mean, we've had so many good ones. We've had Baines over the years.
Baines is the one that gets mentioned most.
Lundstrom.
Lundstrom. God, I think for me it's Trent. I really do.
Yeah.
In terms of just how many points he consistently got. A lot of people saying Terry, and obviously. Terry,
I'll give you another one as well.
That season when Terry obviously kept a ridiculous amount of clean sheets and was scoring goals as well. But I think Leighton Baines is the one that's got to be up there too.
Well, there's a better one than Terry from Chelsea. Ivanovic was was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. I captained him once for one of his clean sheets and goals. That was lovely.
I captained him in a double game week. He loved the double game week, that guy.
Yeah.
He was...
Elliot Lander saying, not Tarico. Yes, sorry, Tarico. Unsworth as well.
Back to the football manager days.
Yeah. Unsworth was great.
Mark with Ivanovic, about a couple of minutes late, stealing my ideas. Typical Mark. Yeah, I think Tred's good. I mean, this is the thing. Like, you look at this list. I mean, there are some good names on this list. I mean, Aït-Nouri and Sessegnon, I think, particularly over the last few weeks, has been amazing. He'll go down in folklore only for the free hit, last minute goal that he scored. But Munoz as well. Is he? Where is he on the? He's 14th on this list over the last 6. But you look at his expected goal involvement, 0.20. I mean, Trent in his prime was hitting 0.4, 0.5.
Yeah.
Like consistently, like over the season. I just don't think we're going to see that. At least not for a while. Not until things change again. It's just not going to happen.
We'll see it from Bradley next year. Just straight in.
No, we'll see it from Barco, says Leo is good 1, 2, 3 next year. You wait. Be in everyone's game week 1 team. Get home to Germany or something. I marked Kayode as well for Brentford, 4.5. I was impressed with him. Lee, I was doing the FPL pod with Lee. He called him out as well. I was impressed when I saw the highlights with him. We mentioned Flecken as a good defensive option. We mentioned Brentford's fixtures. That's not a bad shout. It's pity if you're trying to free up money for De Bruyne's or Haaland's and you're taking out like a Saliba or someone like that. He could be a good pick at 4-5. So don't hate that.
I don't hate it. Like I said, I think it'd be hard pressed to make any goalkeeper or defensive moves until the end of the season now, because obviously you're going to be with so many lovely fixtures to target. I think it's going to be tough to bring in defenders unless you've got loads of free transfers piled up. The only thing I was going to say is I don't have a clue what some of these numbers mean because there's nothing at the top.
Oh, I can fix that for you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, look at that. There it is. Yeah,
no one was expecting that to be that easy. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right. That was it was hidden from the screen.
But no, I think it's one of those ones where I always look at the end of the season to see if there's somebody that starts to play in defence that could be really cheap next year. We've had Wan-Bissaka did it one year, didn't he? And there's always been a few where they start to play. Maybe Coyote's the one next year to keep an eye out for.
Well, and as RJA964 says, Kirkes. So if Kirkes starts at Bournemouth and the prices come out, he's probably going to be 5 million, maybe 5.5. That would be I think it'd be
quite quick. Him and Howson, I think, are going to be gone.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty much a certain. Isn't
and
it?
I think Kirkes is almost certainly going to go to Liverpool, right? Like that just seems like a really
maybe
really
even Howson as well.
Yeah, could do. Yeah, could finally get rid of Quansah, who I don't think has got the back in. But yeah, I mean that's what you're waiting for, isn't it? You want the prices to come out, and then you want to move further so this happen. I mean, Mark, who I don't know, Mark could be responsible for these prices. He's not going to get caught out by something like that, surely. But
no, exactly.
He could do. I hope he does. Any other defenders then you want to mention, or should we move on?
No, not massively. I think we can move on.
Good. Mids then, and I've got a few screens on some of the mids. I've done some season compares for some of the mids that we're looking at this week. Midfielders though, Saka second. I was surprised at that. His XG non-predictable 91.15. Okay, he has had reduced minutes compared to some of the other players. Like he's played half the minutes of Salah, for example. But it's just one goal for him. But his underlying numbers are good. He's in the top 10 for shots per 90, shots in the box per 90, chances created per 90 as well. He's obviously got that Southampton game on the final day of the season, which is tempting me to hold on to him. But there's other players who are tempting as well, like De Bruyne. I mean, he's in 16th on this list, but yeah, De Bruyne is in the top 10 for any of the stats on this list.
Yeah, and I mean that's what we were saying earlier, wasn't it? In terms of can De Bruyne captainers feel a little bit lucky from that weekend? Maybe, especially with how some of the other captaincy choices maybe underperformed based on the stats they put out. But you mentioned there about Saka. I mean, Liverpool away, then Newcastle at home. Then they do have a nice one in 38, Southampton. Do you just get rid of him now and then maybe have the option of bringing him back in 38 if you think he's going to play? If they get knocked out and he's got Southampton in 38 and he's likely to play, I think that's not bad, is it?
Saka to De Bruyne for 2 weeks and then moving back to Saka.
Exactly.
That's the idea, right?
I mean, how many minutes do you expect De Bruyne to play for the last 3 weeks? Do you think this is his swan song and he's playing every game?
I think if he starts the cup final, he probably doesn't start one of the last three. If he misses, if he doesn't start the cup final, he plays all three.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely plays Bournemouth because that's his final home game, right?
Yeah.
So he's definitely playing that game in 37. I'd be very surprised if he didn't start game week 38 as well. I think it's just his Southampton game, really. That's the biggest. That's probably the biggest risk, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, yeah, you'd think so. And I mean, I'm fully expecting him to play against Southampton. I like you said, it'd just be interesting to see whether people will start stammering to try and get Saka back in 38. I mean, if you had Saka, surely you don't hold him until 38 now. Surely you've got better use of that. Like, even just moving to someone like a Bowen or a Mbeumo, something like that, surely that's a better move than keeping hold of Saka till 38.
Yeah, I suppose. It's just... it's hard to make an argument for it. Like, I'm considering keeping him because I feel like he's a bit of a differential. I feel like a lot of people have gone off him, and I know what he's capable of. But the fixtures aren't there. Arsenal's attacking form isn't. I mean, where were Arsenal on the attacking data over the last six? I mean, they're fourth. It's not too bad. It doesn't. Yeah. That's surprising in a way because they have struggled to score goals, but they are still fourth. They are still creating chances. The Liverpool game, like, could be anything. I just don't know what Liverpool side's going to turn up. I think there's goals in that one. Newcastle at home, that could be tight. Newcastle obviously chasing the Champions League. They're not going to want to concede a lot of goals by that point. Arsenal, if I don't know what position Arsenal are going to be in depending on other results. So that's the tricky one. But yeah, I mean, Liverpool away. You're right. You're right. You probably sell, but it's just a bit reluctant given the fact not many people have got him anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned, I mean, when we looked at the attacking ones there, I think West Ham were 13th, 14th. But would you be looking, if you already had Mbeumo, if you already had KDB maybe, would you be looking at getting Bowen now, or do you think the ship has sailed a little bit?
I really like the fixtures for Bowen still, especially that Ipswich game on the final day. It looks really good. And, well, you know what? That's a great segue, actually, Andy, because I did a season compare for Bowen. Thank you. It's almost like we planned this. Which we didn't, actually. It'd
be good to look at Mbeumo next, actually.
Whoa. It's funny you say that. So this is Bowen over the last few seasons. This is going back to 1920. He had a very, very good season last year as well. I think
that's 2019, 2020, isn't it? Not 1920.
No, it's 1920. Yeah, he goes back. He goes back a long way. Yeah, those
most
like
consistent player ever.
Yeah, those like black and white videos you see of him. I mean, he's 20 goal involvements from this season. Last season he had 22. I forgot what a good season he had last year. I know that he did, but it's still, I mean, 16 goals from him last year is really impressive. If you look at some of these stats, so his conversion has dropped. It was 90% last season. Some of his other stats are down, like his shots in the box. And his big chance per 90 is all down compared to what it was last year. He's creating more chances, nearly double the amount of chances this season, though. So he's become that kind of creative force. But look at that goal involvement, 57%. Yeah. That's got to be the highest in the league, right? I can't imagine. I mean, Haaland's always been in and around that, but 57% goal involvement for a team like West Ham is unreal.
Salah must be pretty high as well.
Yeah, true.
But
true.
57% is ridiculous. It's interesting because obviously the goals and assist stats there, they could easily be highlighted by the end of the season. It's just the fact he plays for West Ham, isn't it? Like, it's just the fact that under Potter they seem to just not be doing it at the moment. And obviously we saw earlier there that they are down in the team data attack as well. But he is the player where if he scores, he's getting you all those bonus as well, because there's no one else getting bonus in that team. So apart from maybe Wan-Bissaka. So I'm looking at it and thinking, 10 goals, 10 assists, always going to be kind of mid-priced, isn't he? He's never going to be above 8 million odd. Not at the moment based on what's happening. So I'm looking at it, I think it's pretty good. One of those seasons, we talked about this before, weren't we? One of those seasons was when he was on penalties, wasn't it? So he had a season on pens. And he also had a season where Lingard was unbelievable, didn't he? Where he was kind of second fiddle to Lingard. So he's done incredibly well considering all those different things that have happened in this West Ham team and some awful managers as well.
Yeah.
If you can get good, I mean, if you look at Man United away, Nottingham Forest at home, Ipswich away. Man United defence we just saw are only 6th, aren't they? So they're not that bad. But Forest and Ipswich are certainly down there. They're bottom 4. So I don't think you've missed the boat on Bowen. I think if you wanted to get Bowen and you've already got Mbeumo and KDB who are better captaincy options, I think if you've already got them, I think Bowen's a great pick still.
I mean, he's 28, so he's in his prime as well. And you look at this. I mean, he had the blip in 22-23 when he got 15 attacking returns. Actually, 15 attacking returns is decent. Right? It's a decent number. It's not horrendous. It just is when you compare it to the other ones. I mean, 21-22, 29 attacking returns, 22 in 23-24, and he's on course to get. Well, he's already on 20, so he could conceivably hit, I don't know, 23, 24 attacking returns over the last few weeks. It's unbelievable season for him. And I don't think there's any danger that West Ham will lose him, right? He's absolute diehard. I mean, he's going out with Danny Dyer's daughter. Like, he can't leave. He's literally stuck there forever.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I think he's great. He's always going to be one of those players where people that own him go, yep, he's getting me the odd goal and assist every week and I'm loving life. And we'll always look at him and go, why didn't we get him?
Yeah.
But I don't really remember many big West Ham double game weeks. So I don't really remember owning him in like big double game weeks or anything. So it's tough then, isn't it? Because you're always going to prioritise those double game week players.
Yeah, I remember last season, it was when, just before that blank game week, and we were all looking at players. I think we all targeted Hwang. I think he had Norwich at home. And that was the week Bowen got a hat-trick. I think it was against Brentford. And I remember that week because I really, really kicked myself for not getting Bowen. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to make that mistake again. Bowen is elite player. When there's a good run for him, just get him in. I made exactly the same mistake again. Just this year, he's a good run. Haven't owned him for any of his big returns. He's pretty consistent player.
So thank you everybody for listening and taking our advice. It's we really appreciate that.
Really typical. You mentioned the Mbeumo stats. He was the other midfielder I wanted to look at in terms of season compare. It's a similar-ish trajectory really when it comes to the stats. He did all right when he first came into the league. Like you mentioned before we came on, he was obviously not on penalties because Tony was around. Yeah. He had a really, really good start to last season, didn't he? Because he was on pens because Tony had the gambling ban. So that's when people sat up and took note. But then he got that injury and was out for a while and it was a bit stop and start. I didn't see him getting 25 goal involvements this season.
Yeah, he's been great this season. And it's the minutes as well. The minutes he gets are just absolutely ridiculous. Like, he plays injury time as well.
Yeah.
Like, he gets everything in terms of minutes. And obviously, that's what you want. For a team like Brentford that keep attacking as well, obviously you want the penalty taker that's still on in the 92nd, 93rd minute. So that we saw it with Palmer, didn't we, this week against Liverpool. What was it, 94th minute he scored, didn't it, with a penalty. So that's obviously really low. But these stats now are just ridiculous, I think. Like, his accuracy's up to 63%.
63% accuracy this season.
Conversion up to 25%. Like, his chances created a 63 as well. So he's everything we want in a midfielder. Plus he's getting the 18 goals as well. And he's on penalties. And he's got a clinical striker that's doing incredibly well up top as well. He's just genuinely, and I said this on Scoutcast weeks and weeks ago when everybody sold him for double game week players, he was going to be the player that we regret selling him. And what happened in the double game week? It was him getting the 18 points or whatever it was, wasn't it?
Of course, against Brighton.
He is. He's just one of those players now. I do think he's gone up a tier this year. I think he's not Haaland, Salah tier, but he's just below it now. Yeah. I'd be really interested to see how they price him next year. Whether he's at Brentford or whether he's not at Brentford, how they price him is going to be. How Mark prices him this year is going to be very, very interesting. But I don't see how he regresses that much unless there's obviously a move. And then if he's getting you 25 goal involvements, and he's probably going to go up to 27, 28 at least by the end of the season, how they don't price him under 9 million, 9.5?
The key thing is, where does he go, right? I mean, it was interesting with Damsgaard because Damsgaard done an interview, isn't he? And he said there is no way Mbeumo's going to be here next season. He basically just confirmed.
Really?
Yeah. I couldn't quite believe what I was listening to. He's like, we've struggled to keep Wissa, but basically there's no way Mbeumo's going to be here. It was along those lines. I mean, there's people in the chat talking about him going to Newcastle. Jack Flash, 9 million at Newcastle next year would be a bargain. That would be a perfect move for him.
You say it's the only thing though. You got to be careful when you say that because there's not a lot of teams that he can move to that haven't got penalty takers set already.
It would be a perfect move for him. It wouldn't be a perfect move for us.
But he's saying 9 million at Newcastle. Like, you've got if he goes to Chelsea, Palmer's already there. If he goes to United, Bruno's already there. If he goes to Liverpool, Salah's got them. If he goes to Newcastle, Isak's got them. He's not taking penalties.
He'll never be as good an asset as he is now at Brentford. That's my point. He'll get a dream move to a top club. He could play for any of the top teams. He's absolutely fantastic, but he won't be posting these stats, I don't think, at Newcastle, and he won't be as good an option because he won't have the pens. So exactly what you just said. Yeah. What is interesting with this comparison and Bowen's though, I thought is it's very similar. That if you compare, both had good seasons last year. The real attacking data, the touch in the box, the shots is all down. Right, we saw that on Bowen's compared to this one. The chances created are up. And if you look at the baseline bonus as well, so taking into account all the extra work they've done, both of them is increased. That tells me these are players that are, the point of the FPL pedigree is there, but the influence that these players just have on their team, it's not just scoring goals, it's everything else they do on the pitch.
Yeah.
He's going to be a massive loss for Brentford when he goes, I think.
Yeah, big time. And I mean, it'd be interesting to see if Wissa then goes on pens. They've got a few.
It's interesting you mentioned Wissa, Andy, because I might
honestly,
even have a season compare for him as well.
We should mention as well to the guy in the chat that's posting the super chats. We will answer them.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we'll do those at the end. This is Vissa's stat. So this is different. Obviously, he's a striker, and you want your strikers to score goals. And I think when you look at the attacking stats, the touch in the box, the number of shots, the accuracy, the conversion, the number of big chances he's having, the XG per shot as well, so the positions he's getting in to have these shots, all are massive. And crucially, that XG, not putting it for 90. Last season, 0.45, decent, up to 0.61 this year. So he's another player that really has stepped up for Brentford. And I don't think they're going to lose both of them. I don't think they're going to lose Mbeumo and Wissa. So I think he probably stays.
There was talk about Wissa going, wasn't there? Wasn't it Forest?
Oh, he was close, I think, in January, potentially.
I mean, the big thing to say here with Wissa is that obviously his minutes have significantly increased. So he, obviously in 22, 23, 21, 22, they were slightly lower because Tony was there and obviously he was playing backup most of the time or just off him. But 23, 24 obviously played quite a lot, but that's 2,500 minutes. Now he's on 2,650 minutes and he's still got 3 games left and he'll play those 3 games. So obviously things have increased there, but still 18 goals, 4 assists. And his conversion rate is pretty good as well at 22.5. I think it would be interesting to see how he does without Mbeumo there. But like I said, does he get penalties?
18 goals without penalties is wild.
Yeah, is pretty good, isn't it?
Absolutely wild. They're your season comparisons. Three players I think we're all considering, and it's just really. I mean, like I said, Bowen's not going anywhere. What happens to Wissa and Mbeumo, I think, is really interesting for the summer. Coming back to mids, then we've covered those. There's a few others I wanted to. I mean, there's loads we can talk about on the mids side. Let's talk about some of the ones at the bottom though. I mean, Palmer getting the goal, good performance. Well done for anyone who's kept him. I got rid of him pretty recent. I think Mark's still got him, but would that be enough for you to keep him? What you saw?
No.
Good?
No, I don't think so. No. Newcastle away, Forest away, Man United at home. I mean, I shout out to Flapjack as well because you captained him this week.
Did he?
He played well.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. He played well. It's what you get when you obviously have penalty takers, isn't it? So obviously he scored that pen. Interesting, Ez is so far down, but he does now have penalties.
Yep.
So if I'm saying Palmer's not any good, maybe Ez is not any good either. But I do obviously quite like watching Ezra. But Elanga and Gibbs-White both being down there. We just mentioned Forest. They're so far down in terms of the last 6. I know, and Gibbs-White as well.
I know, 82nd.
I think that's
Gibbs-White.
interesting.
Yeah. Cliver down in 83rd.
I was going to mention, by the way, we were just mentioning Brentford. Keep an eye out for who Brentford do get in, by the way, because they do this. They lose their players and they bring players in and they do well still. So keep an eye out to see who they bring. They'll probably get some championship striker, won't they?
Well, I feel like Damsgaard was being pretty open and honest in that interview I saw, and he was really talking up Thiago. too.
Really?
Yeah, and
so they
saying
lost him early.
yeah, and saying when he comes into the side, he is going to be like a hell of a player. It's always difficult when a player's been out for that long, and getting up to speed with the Premier League and everything like that. But yeah, very candid interview from Damsgaard. He said Mbeumo's going to go, Wissa's going to stay, and well, actually no, he didn't say that. He said he wasn't. I think he said he wasn't sure about Wissa, but he did say Thiago's a baller. So yeah, we'll see on that. Minte I flagged as well. He's been brilliant for us. I don't think anyone's going there with Brighton, but
Luke's nemesis.
Yeah, do you know what? Actually, I shouldn't talk too much about Minte because Luke has not benched him this week for his goal. Played him in all the other weeks. Terrible. But yeah, Minte's another one. I'm excited to see what happens to him next season. I don't think he's going to be someone that we're looking at now, but next season potentially. And the other one I wanted to mention, he's not actually highlighted on there, but loads of people have mentioned him throughout the stream, is Sharda in 26.
Yeah.
He's having a under the radar, low key, amazing season. 10 goals he's got this season.
Yeah, so if Mbeumo and Wissa blank this week, it would be a Sharda hat-trick.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened in the last game against Leicester. So I captained Mbeumo in the last game against Leicester, and he got me 4 points. Obviously 2 doubled to 4, and it was Sharda that got the hat-trick. So Sharda, he is having a low-key good season, but his minutes are still a bit of a worry because he does sometimes miss out. But when he does play, he does seem to be kind of boom or bust. So he seems to either do very, very well or he does absolutely nothing in the game. But he is, keep an eye out for him. It's an interesting one, him.
He has started every game since Gameweek 23, but his minutes average around sort of 70, 75 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what his ownership is?
It's going to be something like 2% probably.
1.2%.
Yeah.
So I do think if you've got a Murphy, for example, I've got Murphy. Yeah. Murphy to Sharda is a really
not bad,
attractive move, I think, given what we've seen so far. So he's an option. Okay, let's just finish on the forwards. And then over the last 6, you mentioned Evan Nilsson. He's one I highlighted. Like I said, I probably will be bringing him in for the final game week. He's an awesome player, isn't he?
I like him.
He's just really, really good. We talked about Wissa. He's down in 6th, XGI of 0.57. Evan Nilsson's is 0.7, by the way. 4 goals and 6 starts for him, which is crazy. Mateta, he's got to be a sell, isn't he? Look at that. He's 23rd for forwards, 0.23.
You'd think so. It's a good fixture. That's the only thing that makes it not a slam dunk sell. Like playing against Spurs, do you
think he starts? I thought Nketiah was good when he came on.
Well, that's the only. I've seen a few people suggesting about Nketiah and the fact that obviously he's got a bit more speed, but I don't think Nketiah's that good personally. But I think Mateta now it's a long enough time before the final. I think it's fine. So I feel like Mateta will play, but. And I could be wrong there, by the way. But I look and think the fact that he's off penalties and his minutes are just awful at the moment in terms of he keeps going off at 60. I think he's a sell, personally. I think you're going to be wanting to get off some of those Crystal Palace boys anyway. I think there's too many forwards you're going to want to own instead of Mateta. I think if you have to keep him because you've got other fires elsewhere, I think it's fine. But I think if you've got Mateta and you've got a free transfer to use, there's other strikers you're going to want to get. You're going to want to get Wissa. You could get Evan Nilsson this week, but obviously you might want him a little bit later on. You could get Wood. You could, if Marmoush, you haven't got Marmoush yet, you could get him. I think there's too many that you can jump on that are better than Mateta.
If you were wildcarding this week, I think he's probably like 7th that you'd go for over all the ones you mentioned. I think you can add Watkins into that. Kuna as well. Even something like look at Strand Larsen's stats, 0.87. I know he missed the last game, but he's been relentless with the numbers. I just there's no place for Mateta given what we're seeing from other strikers. He's out. And I know some people are thinking of a nice romantic end of the season for Jamie Vardy, given he's leaving Leicester at the end of the season. The stats ain't good. He's down in 26th, 0.16. But surely he's scoring next week. Southampton. No, not Southampton. Who's it? It's Ipswich. Is it Ipswich?
Ipswich.
Yeah.
But he's on 199 goals.
Yeah, on 199 goals
with 3 games left.
Yep.
It's going to happen. He scores against Ipswich, surely.
They'll just let him walk it in, won't they? You've got to let Vardy score 200 goals. Come on.
Yeah, because he's everybody's best friend, isn't he?
Yeah.
Everybody loves
Everyone
Vardy.
loves him. He's when he blew the whistle last week. Then he was like, I saw him breaking down the left. So what? I'm amazed. Was he booked for that? I'd be amazed if he.
I have no idea, actually. Don't know.
I don't think he
saw
was.
It
I don't think he was, but you'd think he would be. Right, let's take a look at some predictions. And this is our predictions for the game week. Remarkably similar, Andrew.
Yeah, not good.
Not good, as they often are. Fulham Everton. I've gone for 2-1. Fulham, you've gone for a 1-0.
Yeah, don't expect a lot of goals in that, to be honest. Everton are hard to crack. Don't score a lot of goals themselves. Fulham have not been great
they're
recently.
a weird team.
Yeah, they are a weird team. You just don't know which Fulham's going to turn up. See, I've just gone 1-0.
I mean, they beat Liverpool, didn't they? And everyone thought, that's great. Then they lost 3-4. The only one they beat was Southampton. Yeah. So, yeah, funny team. I wouldn't be investing in them at the moment, but obviously if you've got Sessegnon, Jimenez, you hold. Southampton City, all eyes on this one. We've both gone for a 4-0. Neither of us with a captaincy on a Man City player. You've got the triple up, though, which I'm pretty envious of.
Yeah, the double City defence, which I might look at this game and regret having double City defence
You think?
in this. But to be fair, against set pieces, Southampton could be a bit vulnerable. And if I've got Gavardio and I've got Ruben Diaz, that could be right. Diaz he's had a few headers recently. Yeah. They haven't been great, but he's had a few. Gavardio's very, very well owned. But if they did, what happened last game? O'Reilly went off, didn't he? And Akanji came on. So Gavardio did play left back for a bit in the last game. So if we can get a little bit of that against Southampton as well, I'll be very happy. The thing that obviously could happen, that we don't want to happen, is Diaz could miss out. Akanji's now back. He could miss out. O'Reilly's been really, really good. So there could be a little bit of rotation here. But hopefully we get the leak anyway. But yeah, I'm seeing quite a lot of goals here for City in this game.
Yeah. Find yourself a man who keeps the faith like FPL Swap. Yeah. Up the Saints.
His wife's a lucky woman.
Keep the
His wife's a lucky woman.
That is loyalty to a new level.
Yeah.
That is. Wolves Brighton. I couldn't bring myself to give Brighton another loss. I've been a bit down on them lately. I've gone for a 2-1 Brighton in this. You've gone the other way, 2-1 Wolves. This genuinely is. This could have been a garden centre game at the start of the season. You'd be looking at it. I think this is a good game. I think it's a good game, this one.
I really like Wolves. I think they're a good attacking team. And obviously Cunha's only got 3 games left. I expect him to play. I'm not sure whether Strand Larsen's going to be back for that one. But no, I'm expecting them to score a couple of goals against Brighton.
Yeah, I reckon there's goals in this one. I'm backing us. We like a challenge. Newcastle was a funny game because we weren't really in that for very much. We got the great goal from Minte. 3 penalties he took in the end to break us down, but yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Ipswich Brentford is another big one in our seasons. I've gone for a 2-0 Brentford. You've gone for a 3. Yeah,
gone for 3, which is where's your captaincy going? If you've got an attacking player for City, we're predicting 4, and between us only 2.5 goals for Brentford. So maybe City is the way.
And we would say, wouldn't we? Okay, if Brentford score, you'd expect Mbeumo to get all the points, but hasn't happened in a couple of games.
No.
Now they're exactly getting shared around that strike force. Bournemouth Villa. You've gone for 2-1. I've gone for 2-0. Is that influenced by the fact you have 2 Villa players?
No, actually, no. No, because I've got Martinez and Conte. I got 3 because I got Rodgers as well. So I'm expecting Bournemouth to score, but I got Villa players. But I think it's just I feel like Villa have got more going for Europe in terms. I know Bournemouth still are as well, but I just feel like Villa are going to have more against them personally. But I do like Bournemouth still.
Next one's really interesting. Battle for those Champions League places. Newcastle, Chelsea, both gone for the exact same result. Both gone for a Newcastle win, 2-1. Forest would be over the moon, surely, with that, especially because they've got Chelsea to play on the final day. Interesting game to call. I mean, Joe Linton's out, isn't he, for the season? That obviously impacts Newcastle. Chelsea had the bit in their teeth last few weeks. Big win against Liverpool last week. I still fancy Newcastle though. And you feel the same?
Yeah, I don't like. I don't like this Chelsea team that much, to be honest. So any time they're away from home, I tend to not back them. And Newcastle are relentless. So yeah, I quite like Newcastle.
Yep. Spurs Palace. Spurs off the back of European football. Palace with the final in mind potentially. That is a week after this game. I've gone for 2-1 Palace, and so have you.
No, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah,
it's going to be
Spurs to lose, but Spurs score. So.
Yeah, it's going to be another like full strength team, isn't it? From Palace, I think he's said he was going to do it. He did it with no reason to doubt him now. So if they go full strength against us, that Spurs side, I think they win that. United West Ham. optimistic. I was surprised that you went for a 2-1, man. You're the one watching every week.
I hate going against Man United at home because we're still at home, and I feel like they're going to want some kind of momentum. Obviously, going into the last couple of games of the season before the final, which could be against Spurs. We'll find out obviously after tomorrow night. But yeah, no, I think West Ham are pretty bad as well. So it's probably going to be a narrow win for us, but I'm expecting someone like Bowen to be involved still.
If any game had Garden Centre written over it, it's that one. I think of all the games this season, Man United v West Ham has to be. Oh my God, I feel sorry for anyone who's a Man United fan and watched Inter versus Barcelona last night, and then is going to Old Trafford to watch that game. that's all I'm going to say.
Give it a couple of years, mate. Amram will get his purring again.
Both in the Championship with the current trajectory of both clubs. Forest Leicester, they've gone for a 3-0 in that. That would be a great result with Wood. For me.
Yeah, I know. Makes me feel a little bit sheepish not owning any Forest going into that game.
Yeah, there's a good question we had in the WhatsApp chat, which was how big a rivalry is this, given it's a Midlands derby. Mark obviously knows more about it than me. From my point of view, I don't think Forest care that much, but Leicester probably do.
Yeah,
so
that's the impression I get.
Yeah, so Leicester fans are going to be fired up and everything like that, but it's it's at the City Ground. I would expect if Forest can't beat Leicester at home, they do not deserve to be in the Champions League next year. So
yeah, agreed.
It's all on them. And then finally, Liverpool beat Arsenal. This is one we have gone different on. I've gone for an Arsenal win. You've gone for a Liverpool. I'm just back in the hangover from winning the league. That's it.
And I'm back in the hangover from Arsenal going out of the Europe, and
might be eating those words in a few hours when this goes.
Yeah, it could be. And the fact just Arsenal, they haven't impressed me. I watched them twice this year in the last couple of months, and they haven't impressed me that much. Obviously, at the beginning of the season they did, but they just haven't impressed me much. So I think Liverpool will have enough to beat them.
The table feels pretty fair this year. Other than maybe Chelsea, probably higher than I think they deserve to be, given their performances. Chelsea fans are going to hate that, but I've just seen a lot of dross from Chelsea, and they're higher up. Whereas the other teams, you can't really argue with it, can you? It's all.
I do agree.
It's all been what it is. If you're interested in getting involved in the Predictions League, probably a bit late now, given there's only a couple of weeks left. But next year you can join the Patreon and get involved in this. Hesmo, he'll be very disappointed to lose it from this stage. He's predicted 347 games. He's got a total score of 266. You get 3 for a right result and 1 for a right outcome. Look at that, 13% correct scores. Very good. Over the 50% target for correct outcomes. It's very interesting, though, how consistent it is. I mean, a lot of, the top 10 are all in and around that 50% correct outcome.
Good stuff.
And it just shows, Mark and I've done this for years, it does just show that every season you can only really predict 50% of the game. So we talk about it being an unpredictable league. Well, yeah, because 50% of the time it doesn't happen in the way you think it would do. So
yeah, I like it.
Yeah, interesting. But Paul is on his tower and Hotline too. Hotline was leading for ages, so it's a battle between those three. Hotline missed, I think, like 15 games or something like that. So he'll be cross if he loses it by a couple of points, because that might have made all the difference. Captaincy. This is what we were hinting at the start of the stream. I think there's 5 good options this week: Salah, Mbeumo, Wood, Marmoush, and De Bruyne. The stats over the last 6 still point towards Salah. Marmoush and De Bruyne are tied, 0.56 XG non-penalty per 90 over that period. Mbeumo is at 0.45. Forget about Chris Wood's stats. Doesn't matter. 19 goals, 3 assists for him. What way are you leaning?
In my team, I'm almost certain to be going with Mbeumo. I worry about Marmoush a little bit. And I'm seeing people captain him, and I do worry about that a little bit. And I could be eating my words, because that game could genuinely be 5-6-7-0.
Yep.
And obviously Marmoush could get quite a few returns there. I'm almost certain to be on Mbeumo, but I do get it if you've got a City attacking asset and you want to go with him over them. I look at it, I just think Mbeumo against a promoted team has spelt points all year. And I think I won't go against that in his next opportunity to go up against one.
Would you be tempted by Wood if you had him?
No, not as captain, I don't think.
Okay, so Mbeumo is a standout for your own team and generally speaking.
Yeah, and like I said, but I do obviously get the City attacking assets as well. I've got Marmoush, but I haven't been tempted to captain him.
Interestingly, Mark is in the chat and he's saying Sharda triple captain. Do you think he has the minerals for that, given he's still got that chip left?
I don't know if he even knows how to activate it. Does he know how to? Does he know how to make it work? If he does it, fair play. I mean, his last triple captaincy shout, which he should have done, was Trossard, and obviously because he free hitted, that didn't happen, did it? But yeah, you never know. Could be worthwhile doing.
The eagle-eyed have spotted that the Salah does not have 28 goals over the last 6 weeks. So I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure what's happened there. I'll just delete that table from here. Just go with the season stats.
And Chris Wood and Mbeumo have 19 and 18. Yeah.
It's weird. I think the stats. Actually, I will leave it. I think the stats are right. Oh no, they're identical, aren't they? Are they right? No.
Yeah. They're identical but ordered differently.
Yeah, weird. Okay, don't know what's happened there. Let's just go with this one then. Whoop. Just do it with the season stats. We did have issues with this, didn't we, before we came on? I might need a tutorial on the captain's table, Mark. It wasn't playing ball. James C. Mark will get the chip wrong falling off a train. that sounds about right. I enjoyed your tweet the other day from the account, your first BlackBox tweet.
Oh, thank you.
It was very, very amusing. Yeah,
thank you very much. Make sure you go and have a look. You'll know it's mine.
You will,
because because it isn't a usual BlackBox tweet.
Also, they're all you because I'm not on Twitter anymore. So
that's true.
This is the captain matrix as well, just for the final 3 weeks. I think the captaincy is really interesting. Like I said, big decisions to make this week. I think next week as well. Salah against Brighton. You go for Chris Wood against West Ham. Maybe Palmer if you still got him against Fulham. I mean, some of the other options aren't bad as well. I mean, KDB at home potentially. You're probably not going to have Isak away at Arsenal, but Saka at home to Newcastle potentially. Mbeumo. Yeah. It's probably Salah though, isn't it? In 37, that's his final.
Yeah, you'd have thought so.
His final rah. And then in 38, again, it could be anyone. Saka at home, away at Southampton. Salah with Palace. Isak Everton at home. Bowen with Ipswich away. Yeah, some good fixtures. So yeah, keep watching these so we can talk about the stats and help you with your captain's decision. Rob T, you mentioned Rob T earlier on. Check him out on Twitter. He posts some absolutely amazing stuff. I really like these projected goals and projected clean sheets over the next few weeks. City at the top of both. So if you're looking for teams to invest in, it's the perfect one to go for. Liverpool second projected goals too. So that's your argument for keeping Salah. Potentially Arsenal as well. I mean, I know you mentioned next game isn't great, but I mean, it's a Southampton game, isn't it? 2.4. Bournemouth 2.7 in the final game, 2. So yeah, these are your attacking teams on the left. So target players, buy players from these teams essentially, and then on the right, if you are making defensive moves, you want to be buying from the likes of Man City, Forest potentially, Chelsea, who've been good defensively as well. I'm not sure I trust their attack, but defensively they've been good, and some of the others. But notice that Brentford and Villa show up on both of these lists. We haven't really talked too much about Villa assets going forward, but like Watkins, Tielemans has been amazing. Rogers, too. But I think Brentford's the team. Brentford is the team for investment, as we talked about. Mbeumo, Wissa.
Agreed.
Who's the defender? Kayode as well.
Yeah,
potentially. Right, how are we shaping up for next week? Let's take a look at your team. So how you're shaping up for 36.
Yeah, so Martinez in goal, Gvardiol, Ruben Diaz, and Saliba at the back. I don't think I'll be playing Saliba at the back with Liverpool away. I'm pretty sure that'll be Konsa, which means I've just got 2 defences that are playing on the south coast, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Then I've got Salah, Eza, Rogers, and Mbeumo as my captain, with Mateta, Isak, and Marmoush up top. I am almost certain to be doing Mateta to Wissa, but I'll wait until the last possible minute to do that because we are likely to get some kind of hints as to who's playing because obviously they're all 3 o'clock kickoffs and City are there, so I need to see what happens there. But I'm almost certain to do Mateta, Wissa, and captain Mbeumo. So I'm fairly happy with this team, to be perfectly honest. I've got my triple City in there, but only 1 attacking asset. But the rest seems fine, I think.
Yep, all looks good. This is mine. I've got Verbruggen in goal. How has he ended up there? He's there.
Amazing.
It's him or Raya. I think I'll just back Brighton in that one. Vardiol, Livramento and Milenkovic. Salah, Saka, Mbeumo captain and Sarr. And then Isak, Marmoush and Chris Wood. So our teams are pretty different, actually. We've got quite a few differences. So it should be an interesting last few weeks. I'm almost certainly going to leave it on Mbeumo. I'm a little bit tempted by Wood. But I think, given all the stats you said earlier about the amount of points he gets against these promoted teams, And Ipswich are weak down the left as well. I think he could clean up in this one. If we get news De Bruyne starts, I will 90% do Saka to De Bruyne. Not sure why I wouldn't. If he doesn't, then I'll probably just leave it as it is and roll into next week. So yeah, that is me. Black Box League. Jake Poplowski is first with Steve Bunn in second. Ahmed Ide in third. Abhinav C in fourth. Jamie Mechetti in fifth. FPL USA in sixth. Andrew Collar in seventh. Greg Cook in eighth. Christopher Brahead in ninth. And Rauno Rutel in 10th. In the Patreon League, we have a new number one who is vying for that, the coveted Black Box Godfather tier trophy. Jeremiah Johnson is now top with a big score of 69. Steve Hurst in second, Jonathan Tingate in third, Ryan Mellison in fourth. Jose De La Rocca, I'm on the pink gin now, so I'm getting rowdy. Jose De La Rocca in fifth, Saunat Ghosh in sixth, Mr. Planet FPL James Linden in seventh. Jonathan Cohen in eighth, Jamie Mystic Mac White in ninth, and Caroline Owen in 10th, all vying for it. Yeah, so Jeremiah is 12 points clear, so definitely the favourite, but yeah, all can turn around pretty quickly. I think that is about it. We did have a couple of super chats, so you should take those. Two from Sabodchit. Which one to get from Wissa, Kuna and Wood? Well, we've touched on this already. We're both a bit different.
We have. Yeah, it's Wissa for me, easily. Cunha and Wood both have pens, but it's Wissa with the team data behind it and the fixtures to come. I think it's Wissa.
It's Wood for me. I'm still back him next two weeks. I'm still going to back Chris Wood over those two. And he says, "Who's the better captain this week, KDB or Marmoush?" I think we're both agreed on this, right? We're both saying KDB.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
I think so. I think so. I'm finding it really hard, and this has obviously always been the issue with City assets, but I do think it's KDB, but I am worried that I'm being a little bit... I'm doing this because Marmoush blanked last week, obviously. If Marmoush would have got 2 goals last week, he'd be the most popular captain this week. Yeah. So I'm wondering whether
I think the Haaland potential comeback... I actually liked Marmoush when Haaland was playing, because obviously Haaland was dropping deep and Marmoush was pushing on, but I just think it creates a bit too much of an unknown.
Yeah, no fair.
So I'm going to stick with KDB. That is 8 o'clock. This takes you nicely into the Arsenal PSG semi-final. Good luck to Arsenal, I guess. Delia's in the chat. We want Arsenal to win because of Delia. So good luck to them overturning the 1-0 deficit. Thank you all for watching. Do like the stream if you haven't already. Drop us a review if you're listening to this on podcast. And Andy and I will be back next week for Game Week 37.
Excellent. Cheers, guys.
Good night all.